Do you think canned foods are harmless staples that are cheap and convenient? But what if I told you that some hide dangers? Chemicals, heavy metals, and bacteria proliferate during storage. Seniors risk heart, kidney, and cognitive damage. Today we reveal 7 canned foods to absolutely avoid and 2 that are truly safe. Let's start with a canned food that proves how quickly things go wrong. In 7th place, the little sausages. You can smell them even before opening. Metallic smell, jellied broth, soft sausages falling apart without chewing. For many, it's nostalgia in a can. After 45, it's a trap marinated in brine. Here is the hidden calculation. A small can contains 700 to over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, which is 1/3 to 3/4 of the daily limit recommended for those with hypertension. Who eats only half of it? Most swallow the whole thing with crackers. For young people, it's just a big thirst. For seniors on treatment for blood pressure or kidneys, this sodium spike strikes the heart. Blood pressure climbs, water accumulates, and medications struggle to compensate. Labels boasting reduced sodium often hide more than 700 milligrams. It's a regulatory loophole. Reduced just means 25% less than the original. Not that it's safe. Worse, some brands replace salt with potassium chloride. It seems harmless, but in case of kidney disease or heart treatment, it causes serious rhythm disorders. Specialists warn against this fake healthy choice that throws the heart into chaos. The risk is also in the can. These low-acid foods require perfect sterilization against botulism. If the seal fails, no smell warns you. This toxin is invisible, tasteless, and deadly, causing recent massive recalls of canned meat due to packaging defects. Even intact, the inner lining poses a problem. The cans are coated with anti-corrosion plastic. Some contain bisphenols, others unvalidated substitutes. Authorities have lowered the safe exposure level to almost 0, others ignore it. In cases of hormone-dependent cancer or diabetes, it's crucial. Let's not forget the nitrites that keep sausages pink but form nitrosamines, classifying processed meat as a proven carcinogen. Add the phosphates that strain kidneys and arteries, all swallowed in 5 minutes. Their soft texture makes them easy to eat, but tuna with beans or eggs with spinach offer protein without hijacking your blood pressure. These sausages are a concentrate of sodium, nitrites, and additives targeting an aging body. The can is small, but the consequences are not. And if that shook you, wait until you open the next one. In 6th place, canned tuna. The brine splashes and the fishy smell escapes. It seems safe, the budget-friendly protein of our tough years. But the trust placed in this can is fragile. First, the mercury hidden behind the label. Light tuna contains 3 times less than white tuna. Mercury builds up in the brain and kidneys over years. Young people have some leeway, but in your 60s, with blood pressure issues, it's a slow poison leading to brain fog and tremors. Another anomaly, histamine. If tuna heats up on the dock, histidine turns into histamine that survives the canning process. You eat your sandwich, and an hour later you're flushed, heart racing, and your skin is itching. It's poisoning, not an allergy. Next comes botulism. The toxin has no taste or smell. Brands have been recalled because their easy open lids let the bacteria in. A factory error and it's paralysis. The inner lining brings its own chemical burden. Despite no additive claims, the safe dose of these components is almost 0 according to some authorities. The replacements are hardly any better. If you're fighting cancer or diabetes, avoid this chemical roulette. Salt is also a trap. A can in water reaches hundreds of milligrams. Flavored versions send the numbers through the roof. Low-sodium versions hide potassium chloride, dangerous for kidneys and fragile hearts. Read the ingredients. Soy broth, pyrophosphate stabilizer. Your doctor hates that for stiff arteries. Tuna has omega-3s, but the journey to the plate is riddled with weaknesses. Mercury, histamine, botulism, and chemicals. In 5th place, canned soup, the ultimate comfort food. But for seniors, there are 3 hidden dangers. Sodium bomb, potassium substitution, and chemical lining, plus the latent risk of botulism. Low-acid soups require a precise industrial autoclave. If it fails, spores survive and the can becomes an undetectable incubator. The rule is strict. If a can spurts, bulges, or leaks, throw it away sealed without tasting it. As for salt, half a cup of tomato soup is close to 480 milligrams. We often eat the whole bowl, exceeding 1,000 milligrams, almost the daily limit for hypertension. Chicken soups reach 600 to 900 milligrams. With bread, it's the danger zone. Reduced sodium labels just mean 25% less. It's still too much. Only low sodium at 140 milligrams or very low at 35 milligrams count. Read the fine print. By reducing salt, potassium chloride is introduced, which is dangerous if your kidneys don't filter it well. Hyperkalemia can stop your heart. Kidney foundations forbid it for the elderly. Yet it's hidden in so-called healthy soups. The can is also a problem, coated in chemical resin that's being banned in some places. Substitutes have the same hormonal issues. Add starch, sugar, phosphates, and hidden allergens, and your comfort bowl becomes a disguised trap. Canned soup is an explosion of salt and chemicals, a Russian roulette that the body handles poorly after 50. In fourth place, canned chili. Beans, meat, spices. A dinner ready in minutes, but it's one of the riskiest cans. Chili is low acid, requiring extreme sterilization between 115 and 120 degrees Celsius under pressure to kill bacteria. If done poorly, it's an undetectable botulism trap. Factories have failed before, causing mass hospitalizations due to insufficient heat treatment. This aisle is a real minefield. 1 cup provides 1,000 milligrams of sodium. The whole can exceeds half the daily intake recommended for heart patients, set at 1,500 milligrams. Low-salt versions use potassium salt, perfect for a young person. Dangerous after 50 on heart medication, triggering arrhythmias without warning. Phosphates keep meat elastic, but deliver phosphorus that stresses kidneys, stiffens arteries, and weakens bones. Not to mention controversial chemical coatings, often replaced by similar compounds. Canned chili is a toxic cocktail of sodium, potassium, and phosphate, wrapping a risky stew for your heart and kidneys. In third place, fruit and syrup. The glow of peaches seems healthy, but with syrup, it's a dessert. 1 cup contains over 40 grams of sugar, or 11 teaspoons. Light syrup is still just sugar water. After 45, these blood sugar spikes disrupt medications, amplify hypertension, and damage the heart. A diet high in added sugar increases the risk of cardiac death by 40%. Sugar builds up silently, ruining treatments for cholesterol and acidity. The can adds a risk lined with chemical resin whose safe limit has been lowered to 0 by several authorities. Tests still detect these substances, even in so-called safe cans. The neon cherry contained a carcinogenic dye banned by 2027. Recalls for lead or glass shards also exist. The solution? Drain, rinse, or avoid the syrup. Buy fruit in water or opt for frozen ones without metal. With yogurt, you get the sweetness without the sugar spike. Fruit in syrup is a sugar bomb sold as nostalgia. In second place, canned spinach. They're thought to be full of vitality, but they're a soggy mess smelling of metal. After 45 years of age, the risks start to pile up. First, there are the heavy metals. Spinach absorbs cadmium from the soil, which remains after cooking and builds up in your kidneys and bones for decades. Authorities impose strict limits to protect kidney function. The can uses chemical resins on the inside, often replaced by chemical cousins that are just as questionable. As for salt, 1 cup provides more than 700 milligrams of sodium. Even without added salt, expect 200 milligrams of natural sodium. Reduced sodium hides potassium chloride, which is dangerous for the kidneys and heart under treatment. Let's not forget natural oxalates that trigger kidney stones and vitamin K, which complicates life for people on blood thinners. If the factory fails to sterilize this low-acid product, botulism is guaranteed. If the can is bulging, throw it away. Canned spinach piles up cadmium, salt, oxalate, and questionable containers. Choose frozen for real vitality. In first place, canned pasta, the greatest hidden danger. It smells like tomatoes in childhood, but it's an ultra-processed trap. Sodium, sugar, chemicals. It's an industrial formula to survive for years with thickeners, fat, and preservatives. Doctors link these foods to more diabetes, heart disease, and mortality. When you're struggling with blood pressure or cholesterol, this can doesn't help. 1 cup of ravioli contains 740 milligrams of salt. A full can is close to 1,300. For a senior, that's the daily dose in a single meal. It's impossible to rinse off this sauce. Low-sodium versions use potassium salt, causing fatal arrhythmias with certain medications. The acidic sauce eats away at the can's chemical linings. Safety limits have been drastically lowered because these components migrate and increase heart risks. Sugar is added for taste. Phosphates protect the meat but deplete the kidneys. Nitrites are carcinogenic and hidden allergens are everywhere. Stored in the heat, The can cooks its chemicals into the food. Once opened, the metal degrades in the fridge. Always transfer it to glass. Canned pasta sells nostalgia at the price of sodium and chemical shocks. Fortunately, two staples are safe. In second place, beans. Economical, nutritious, and good for the heart. Although low in acid, canning them at high temperatures under pressure between 115 and 120 degrees Celsius kills bacteria and makes them sterile. If the can is intact with no leaks or dents, botulism is impossible. For seniors, it's safer than deli meats from the caterer. The salt problem is easily solved. A 10 to 30 second rinse under running water removes nearly half of the sodium. You get a source of 7 to 9 grams of protein, 6 to 9 grams of fiber, potassium, iron, and folic acid. Perfect for lowering cholesterol and stabilizing blood sugar. Their cans now use safer linings. Inspected, rinsed, and stored in a cool place, beans are perfect. In first place, canned tomatoes. They offer flavor and antioxidants. Highly acidic, their pH level around 4.6 prevents botulism. Heated to extreme temperatures of over 115 degrees Celsius, they are perfectly sterile and safe. Cooking releases lycopene, an antioxidant that is better absorbed from cans than fresh, especially with a drizzle of olive oil. Watch out for salt. Choose the versions with no added salt. Low sodium labels at 140 milligrams or very low at 35 milligrams are legal. Read the nutrition facts and avoid potassium salt if you have kidney issues. Toxic linings were removed because the acid was eating away at them. Stored in a cool place, they are safe. Acidic, sterile, and nutritious, canned tomatoes are the ideal staple. Subscribe and like.